All right, quick update to start this fine Labor Day morning. We have come out and drilled our holes here, which you just saw on both sides, and shot a little bit of paint on them, and I've just torqued them all down. So this whole back end now right here is all locked down. So I've still got these bags just lightly, twisted in here on the top, but I'm going to turn my attention to the front traction bars and the axle setup. So that's what's next. All right, let's talk through these trailing arms here. So these are the trailing arms. They've got an adjustable end on them, threaded end with a nut, which is great. These go into the factory leaf spring holders, which we've moved back according to the instructions on the website. And so what I did is jacked up the axle. It's on some jack stands. It's not completely dumped all the way, but it's pretty low in its suspension travel at this point. I've got the differential facing forward, so it should be in line with the transmission, where the transmission will sit. So I feel pretty comfortable. I've also measured left to right just off of this this C-notch panel to make sure I'm roughly 3.5 inches to the back of this backing plate off of that on each side. Obviously these C-notch panels are not perfectly level and plumb and square and all that stuff, but it's close enough for, I think, holding a truck together. So my next thing to do is to measure and get an estimate of how far it needs to be from here back. So how long this bar needs to be. And so we've got these pieces, which are going to sit on the underside of the axle and become the back piece for this. That's actually backwards, but you get the idea. So we need to figure out where these things are going to live, and how long this needs to be, so that we make both of them even. And so I'm just trying to get some initial measurements here. I was really just taking this bolt, sticking it backwards, through here, so that I had a decent amount hanging out that I can kind of rest this on. And then I was just loosening this up until it seems like it's directly underneath the axle. And then I'm taking these guys and just kind of checking to see what it's going to look like. Obviously, this is not in the right place. It's going to sit inside the cup. Everything will be scooted over that way. This is just for rough measurements here. So that's actually a pretty good length. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this nut down to where it sits right now. But I want to make sure I've got enough material still left in this shank. So I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to put a little mark with a Sharpie. So I'm just going to mark this right here on those threads. And then I'm just going to try and unthread this together. Alright, So that's good. It's about 50% of the way. That seems acceptable, I guess. Never done this before, but seems like it's all right. All right, so we're back to the length. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the other one. We're going to put these bolts through here, and I'm going to stick the other one on this bolt, and we'll twist them out till they're the same length and that they seat in right, and then we can kind of lock these nuts down. All right, so we're going to take this. We've got this bolt going through the back already. We just need to even these up so that it'll fit. Just going to loosen this guy up. So keep in mind that this side of this bushing over here is wider than this one, so I'll leave a gap in here. But that seems pretty good, so let's lock this thing down. Alright, so I've got this tagged on in there. Obviously we've got the bolt running through. Got just enough clearance up here. And so as we come back, what we're going to be looking at now is where do these guys have to live, and tack them on. Let's do it. Alright, so I'm breaking out the trusty level. I went ahead and adjusted my frame on the other side so that when I put this level up on the frame, I'm just inside the line with the bubble. So now my goal is going to be to get this in the same spot, just inside the line with the bubble. And that should match up with where it is on the frame, so that should be plumb with the frame. I'm just going to make a little mark up here. I'm going to pump this little blue jack just to get it a little bit tighter. There we go. Alright guys, these are tacked in here. So we got a couple tacks on each side. So these things are in place. We got everything tacked in up on the axle. These bags are in place. All the rear pieces are locked in. Whew! Bunch of work. Bunch of work. But it's getting ready to pay off. We're going to test out the suspension travel just with the tacks. I'm going to leave the differential on this jack, on this floor jack. Just move it up, just kind of watching things articulate, see how things move. And if it's good, we're pulling this axle and everything off and do all the finish welding with it on some jack stands. So let's test this out. So this is actually taking the truck up. Let's see how it does. Nice and slow. Looking good. And I'm checking to make sure that differential stays straight up and down. All right, so pumping it back up. All right, guys, it's time. Let's pull this axle off. Let's finish weld it, start wrapping this suspension up, and see it move up and down all by itself. Let's go. All right, guys, I think my neighbor's getting ready to start his lawnmower, but real quick, I've got the finish welding done. I'll take a minute and show you that. Lawnmower. Be right back. Okay, enough of the lawnmower. So anyway, we got all of the rear suspension on to the axle, finish welded. It's not the greatest welds, but it's going to be strong enough. That's the important part, right? So I've shot a little bit of black paint on it, just a little one coat real quick. So here we are, we've got all those bottom brackets on. These brackets are fully welded around. On that side, those guys are there. So just a little paint. So I'm going to take a quick trip to the store. I'm going to grab some more paint because I just finished my little spray can. Grab some more paint and shoot it on there. We will let it dry, connect it, and then I'm coming back out tonight with the wheels on, run some air lines, and psh, 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 get that thing moving. All right, be right back. All right, guys, we're back here. It's nighttime. Got the kids in bed. I finished putting the whole back end together. The paint was dried. It's all bolted up, and now is the time. Let's see if this thing will go up on its own. It's still on jack stands. So if this thing raises up, we take the jack stands out, we dump it down onto the next part. Let's see what it does. Man, this has been a bunch of work. Let's see what we got. All right, I've got my T-line that we used in the front. I just chopped off a little hose. It's going right into this bag, right into that bag. Got these jack stands that the frame's been sitting on for months. Let's see if we can put the weight on the suspension now. Here we go. See if it goes up. You ready? I should chock my wheel. Hold on a second. All right, wheel chock's in place. Let's see what we get. Yes! Look at that travel. It's even knocking over my toolbox up here. Look at that. Man, that's a win already. But we're lowriders. Let's see where it goes when it goes down. Woo! Look at that, pancake on the ground. Good Lord, this thing is low. My lighting is horrible, but you gotta see this. And this side of the frame's sitting up. up and down. It's Labor Day weekend. It's moving. Whoo! Man, there's been so much work to get that thing going. Oh, like I so want to just relish in this moment, but my brain's going, okay, time to recondition the LS engine that's going in it. Okay, time to start doing body work. But oh my gosh, I get to start plumbing up actually the all the components, that airlift system that we did a video about a while ago. I get to start plumbing that stuff up. I get to order a tank. Got to find out where a tank's going to go in here. But man, this is super exciting. So give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. We'll check you guys in the next one. Peace.